you like to donate a few bucks for the future of the liberal world order?
All right, so here's the deal. If you guys don't chip in for the future of the liberal world order, I'm just going to continue to raise gas prices, even though I have no control over that. Wink, wink.
And you need to buy an electric car.
Electric cars smell better than cow farts.
And electric cars are going to replace fuel by storing electricity from things like coal, uranium, natural gas, and diesel fuel generators. It's a no-brainer.
All right, people, listen up. You need to buy an electric car so you can stop complaining about gas being so expensive. I mean, at this point, it's not my fault. It's yours. And Putin's.
A lot of you peasants out there complaining about gas prices obviously forgot how bad things actually were back in 2020. Let me refresh your memory.
Back in 2020, gas was only $1.93 a gallon. No wonder America's broke. In 2020, there was like zero inflation. That's not how you grow a country.
In 2020, the supply chain was functioning well and the economy was stronger than it's ever been. How is that good?
In 2020, the border was secure, almost everybody had a job, and interest rates were extremely low. But since I've been in office, y'all don't have to worry about that no more. You're welcome.
In 2020, the stock market was at an all-time high. Let me explain something to you peasants, okay? The stock market only works for me.
In like 2020 or like whatever, 401ks had like a record-breaking value. I'm like an economist, and giving workers back the money they earned is not helping anyone, okay?
It's your choice, peasants. You either donate to the new liberal world order, or we'll just keep raising gas prices.
Yeah, because I'm not donating my salary. I'm donating yours. Guys, it's like totally simple, okay? Buy an electric car. That's an order! A new world liberal order. All right, here's the deal. I built nothing back, and nothing is better. And that's what I call progress.
Life comes at you pretty fast. That's why we take your money.
I am a business hotel. I eat, sleep, and breathe efficiency.
I don't want to watch that. Oops. Screwed up on that. Anyways, the what is that? The United Spot or whatever it's called. United Spot. Interesting stuff. I love watching this stuff. I haven't watched it in a while. I've been focusing pretty heavily on the Bible. Maybe to my detriment. Anyways, Almighty God, the Lord of all spirits, the Most High God, the God who created the heaven and the earth, that created the heavens and the earth, created the sun, moon, and stars, created life, breathed life into man. That God, you God, how are you doing today, God? Praise and glory go to you. I ask you that you bless this recording, that it will bless others and bless you, more importantly, and help us to get closer to you. Appreciate what your only begotten Lord and Savior Jesus Christ did for humanity, how he reconciled all things so that we have a personal relationship with you. Yeah, it's nice. A lot of our idols need to crumble, and help that to be the case. Meantime, have mercy on everyone. Bless other people out there right now, throughout my town, neighboring towns, the area. If you're setting off fireworks, that they'll have a great time and no harm will come to them. Sounds like a war out there right now. God. Yeah, I wish I could be part of somebody's fun, but that's not my job. My job is to keep doing what I'm doing, apparently. For I have no other purpose but to do what I'm doing. So, help everything I do will bless all those who hear this, that they will be blessed 1,000,000 times more than me. And I mean that sincerely. Bless our children, my son, 1,000,000 times more than me. Keep on doing it as you have been doing for my son. And help us, God, because we have a lot of hard things ahead of us, hard times ahead of us. And help us turn to you, God. Lord God Almighty, please have mercy on us all. Have mercy on my big brother, my sister, and little brother. Have mercy on friends of the past. Have mercy on my son's mother. and bless them all, like I said, a million times more than me. And I guess just help me to tolerate the fact that I'm getting my wishes. If there could be some blessings for me, that would be nice, God, in this life and in the life to come. The biggest blessing of all would be having a relationship with you. That would mean something more than anything. The God of all life, the Most High God, the God of Abraham. All praise and glory go to you. All right, we get back into the reading of the Genesis. And, the first, obviously the first 12 chapters or so, or maybe 11, first 10 at least. I have a lot of issues with Heavenly Father about it. Don't like it. Don't like the missing information. And of course, I'm not alone. There have been millions of others who've read this book who have come to the same conclusion. So it's not uniquely mine, God. So please forgive me, Heavenly Father, for what I say, if I say anything wrong. I don't mean to. Anyways, back to this. One of the things we learn about this is that, before we get any further, that I find interesting in the last two chapters, chapter 16 and 17, it goes, not talk about Isaac now, but Hagar and Ishmael, and that there was the Lord of God, an angel of God, an angel of the Lord, all capital letters, the God. And he blesses her, an angel of the Lord. Who that angel is, they don't say. I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that thou shalt not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with a child, and thou shalt bear a son, and thou shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake her, Thou, God, seest me. For she said, I have also here looked after him that seest thee. Seest me, excuse me. I guess he's talking about Abraham, but I'm not sure. Anyways, and also then about the Ishmael. He was blessed by the Lord God. And although he'd be a wild man, he'd be at war with everyone else. Yeah. Does that still apply today, that particular one? Or was everything fulfilled? Also, it says here that of course it talks about, we all know about Isaac and him, I will make these seedlings fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and all kings come. Blah, blah, blah. I talked about Abraham now. Where am I going at? So it's a circumcision. Where is the one thing I'm looking for? In the other chapter? Sorry about this delay. Circumcision is just a promise. And the covenant with Sarah. Oh yeah. So then he goes, and God says, Sarah, There's no change from Sarai to Sarah, and from Abram to Abraham. Their names for whatever reason. And thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant with his seed after him. And then he also says the same thing. As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him. I will make him fruitful and multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes he shall begot, and I will make him a great nation. So there's 12 princes. Of course, and later on, there will be the 12 sons of Joseph, or whatever his name is. Anyways, so now we're at 18, chapter 18. And the Lord appeared unto him in a plains of Mamre, and he sat in a tent door the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself towards the ground. Quite a spectacle it must have been. And not only that, just imagine the weight. Anyone's had any kind of spiritual experiences, you know what I'm talking about. There's some kind of spiritual, there's just the weight that happens. I have not experienced any good angels that I know of, but I certainly experienced some beings and spirits that I'm not told didn't make me all that happy, and it sort of put some dread in my life. I can just imagine what it must have been like. And he said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, for thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. This is interesting, and how that was talked about. And then when Jesus, when he was in the house of one of the Pharisees, and he brought this up, and how they did not offer that, but a woman did that instead, huh? Anyways, we know where that woman is and all that kind of stuff. So, I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast said. And Abram hastened in the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, and eat it, and make cake upon the hearth. How long does that must take? And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto the young man, and he hastened to dress it. So just along, it must have spent a long time with God, because it takes a long time to cook all that stuff properly. And he took butter and milk and the calf, and which he had dressed, and set it before them, and they stood by, and he stood by them under a tree, which is very important, because a lot of spirits you'll see around trees. And they did eat. And they said unto him, and I'm not saying that they're the same thing, I'm just saying there's a lot of spirits that you find in and around trees. And they said unto him, Where is Sarai thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. It ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of a woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child, which I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. And Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked towards Sodom. Abram went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, and he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. If not, I will know. Who was doing the crying? Was it Lot himself? Who was doing the crying? And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city? Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place of the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, and that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the judge, or the Lord, said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham asked and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which I am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy also the city of 5? He said, If I find 45, I will not destroy it. It's amazing he's allowed to get away with this game, huh? With the Lord? Yeah. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. He said, I will not do it for the 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry. I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for their 20's sake. And he said, let not the Lord be angry. I speak yet but once. Peradventure 10 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for their 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left the communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. So we know there was not 10. Alright, and there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat at the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray thee, you, into your servant's house. and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. I don't know how much this could possibly be true, but I don't know how you just talk to angels like that. I just can't see that how that possibly could be. And he pressed upon them greatly, and this is pressed upon, you just to get that term in the New Testament from here first. And they turned in unto him and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat it. So we know that angels, some spiritual beings, have the ability to go from the ethereal plane into the physical plane, huh? According to this book, and according to other people who have seen things. Everything that I've seen appeared physical. There were times when they appeared physical, but I can't tell you that they were actually, because I didn't touch them. I'm talking about my Bigfoot research. Anyways, but before they laid down, men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, and all the people from every quarter. And they called unto the Lord, Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brother, I do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let that me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. They said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men, plural, put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house unto them, and shut the door. Is this the angels or somebody else who was there with them? And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness. You know the angels, right? Both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters? Whatsoever thou hast in this city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because of the cry of them is waxed great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place. I don't know how so he must have lied about his daughters, because his daughters obviously had men. They have son-in-laws, right? And said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-law. And when the morning rose, then the angel hastened Lot, saying, Rise, take thy wife, thy daughter, 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters. And the Lord being merciful unto him, they brought him forth, and set him out without the city. I wonder how they did that. Did they just like float him out? Or did they just walk with him? And it came to pass, and also did he blind, and nobody was able to see him while they were going out. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And this is very similar to, and later, what Jesus prophesies and tells his apostles and disciples would happen, and the time when the Roman armies would encircle Jerusalem, that they would have to flee to the mountains, right? Right? If you're in Judea. A little bit of foreshadowing, maybe. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life, and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. What is some evil? What does he mean by that? Is there something evil in the mountains? Behold, now the city is near to flee unto. This city is near to flee unto. It is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. It is not a little one. My soul shall live. And he said unto them, See, I have escaped thee concerning this things also, that I will not overthrow the city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zor. And the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zor. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of the heaven. And he overthrew those cities, all of the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, that which grew upon the ground. So this city that he's talking about, Zor, could not be very far from Sodom and Gomorrah, for him and his wife and his daughters to run and flee there so soon when this is happening. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abram gat up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and towards all the land of the plain, and behold, lo, the smoke of the country went up as smoke of a furnace. It's also very symbolic of Jerusalem when it had been judged, and how God would judge that in the last days and the last times and the end of times of Jerusalem. So it's interesting. It starts out with Abraham like this, and it ends that way in Jerusalem. And it came to pass that when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow. And when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt, and Lot went up out of Zor and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zor. He dwelt in a cave, he and his daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old. There is not a man in the earth to come in unto us. There's that expression again, came unto us, after the manner of all the earth. So that's the sexual intercourse, right? Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and laid with her father. That's pretty damn disgusting. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with up my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lay with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. There's a lot of incest going on in this book, isn't there? Woo-wee. And a lot of incest, and a lot of polygamy, and now slavery. I mean, these people are pretty damn savage. And still God found favor on them. And they made their father drink wine that night also. The younger rose and lay with them, and he perceived not when she lay down and when she rose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. That's pretty inspirational. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites, until this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Namai. The same is the father of children of Ammon unto this day. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Ben-Namai, not Benjamin, Ben-Namai. Ben-Namai. So what can you say? Take a break. Driver 8, you've been on this trip too long. Alright, let's get back to this reading. Genesis 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence towards the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said to Sarah his wife, She's my sister. And he said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. Amalek, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Did I miss something in 19? Anyways, this is just after you just had interaction with God. The way he had interaction with God, does it make any sense to you? Okay. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said unto him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Which is interesting, they said that, a righteous nation. And said he, not unto me, she is my sister. And she, even she herself said, he is my brother. And in the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands I have done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou hast didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die. Lo, all that are thine, and all of them are thine. That's nice. At least God came to him in a dream. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears, and the men were all sore afraid. So Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? What have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou, that thou hast done these things? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. Yet indeed she is my sister, she is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. She became my wife. Okay. And it came to pass that when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and manservants and women servants, and gave them to Abraham, of course, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleases thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver, which is a shitload of money. And behold, he is to thee the covering of the eyes, and unto all that are with thee, and with all other she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maid servants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. That's a good place to stop. What I want to do next time in reading is then to go over what I personally think are the highlights between chapters 1 through 20 of Genesis. And there's quite a few things to think about here. Don't you think? Yeah. A lot of things to think about. All right.